hoops off season for the NBA is rolling. The WNBA is in controversy once again. It's all here on DAR Sports Media, where you are tuned in. We're going to kick off once again this young lady, this generational savior of the WNBA. I'm just trying to get True fired up right off the bat here. This generational savior of women's sports in general at large is in the news again, causing a kerfluffle. If you're not here, if you don't want to hear none of the, some people might not want to, I don't want to listen to WNBA Caitlin Clark nonsense. And we understand that because it is nonsense that's going on. Go ahead and fast forward to like the 12, 13, 14 minute part of this pod. We're going to have Ken Moore, NBA scout in the house, discussing what he liked about the NBA draft this week. And we're going to talk about the two huge trades that have gone down this week in the NBA. Giannis headed to Miami. LaMelo Ball headed to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to break all that down on this episode. But first, I'm going to start off real quick before True goes on his soliloquy.
It's going to be real short.
Every time you get into these situations where people who have agendas and people who are not operating in good faith and people who want to do nasty things and make arguments about things that they are not really needing to be about. Every time those people slip their way in, not every time, most of the time, it is unfortunately because they have been provided with some material to work with. So I want to start this off by saying, WNBA refs, you fucking suck, and you all should be fucking replaced, and you need to fucking look into a musical career, joining the likes of Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder, because you are fucking terrible. I do want to clarify a big part of why this is all even able to happen is because y'all are dog shit. And I watch these games. I watch the Fever and I watch the LA Sparks. And I've seen a lot of their games. And I will say they ref Caitlin Clark fucking terrible. Fucking terrible. They call the most ticky-tack shit I've ever seen in my life on her all the fucking time. She got tacked up for clapping the other day. For clapping. She got a tech. Now, hold on. I'm gonna let you go.
Because I think that's a bullshit narrative, and I think she is right.
I watched it. True. I watched her get tacked up for that.
I watched her get away with so much, and that's why I don't like it. It's because she's allowed to get away with, like, she does some dirty plays, man. She gets away with a lot of dirty shit. She is treated as the white savior of the league, as you said, this generational savior. She's a good player. She's a really good player. I have nothing against Caitlin Clark's talent and ability. But where I have to stop you is this
I don't know
coddling.
She's a really good player. She's a good player. I don't know if she's a really good player.
The coddling that this league does. If you look under any WNBA account, any WNBA anything, the amount of faceless and even faced accounts on, like, Twitter, Instagram, anything. They're these thugs. Mind you, they're talking about black women in the WNBA. They're fans, who so-called fans, who they're abusing her, they're beating her up. Caitlin Clark plays the same basketball that everybody else plays. Angel Reese getting choked out. Getting choked out and getting beat up, and everybody was, Sophie Cunningham is out there doing hard fouls. And you know what they're doing? The Fever fans are cheering for her. Oh, Caitlin Clark.
Everybody is. I love Sophie Cunningham.
I don't. And the reason why is because in the WNBA, we have to stop. Sophie Cunningham is not that good of a player. We need to stop rewarding mediocrity because of the fact we like this or we like that, or because she plays on Caitlin Clark's team. Let's be clear. The top teams right now, we can talk about Olivia Miles, the draft pick that should have went number one. The Dallas Wings are now a playoff team. The Atlanta Dream look amazing. The Las Vegas Aces, Asia Wilson is the best player in the league still. Best player in the league still. The Minnesota Lynx don't even have feedback yet. So we can talk about that. But people, and by people, I mean I don't care how people. White America in their need, and mostly conservative white America. Let's be real, because that's the people who got the American flags in there and they talking about these thugs, these this and that. And also, I mean, there's quite a lot of liberals who feel the same way. They just act like they don't. But I just want to make this clear. This is not a political podcast, but this is very, very, very dear to me because I do not like watching the great white hopes get gassed up and and they let their fan base, the Indiana Fever, are pieces of shit. They suck. They're pieces of fucking garbage because you should not be sitting there making those stupid ass posts about we care about players' health. Did Sophie Cunningham care about the health of the players she hit with a flagrant two? Did they care about the Isabel Harrison care about Angel Reese when she gave her a flagrant two? You ain't say shit about none of that. You didn't say nothing. You're protecting and coddling Caitlin Clark, and she doesn't need that. She whines, she complains. Yes, she gets fouled a lot. Everybody does. It's basketball. That's what happens. You get hard fouled. If you a star player, you good. You get hard. I just seen Paige Beckers get hard fouled. I just seen Ozzy Flood get fouled. I've seen all of these women get fouled. These are women who play sports at a high level, a super high level. So I just think it's bullshit. I'm tired of hearing it. Get them cornballs the fuck out of there. These cornballs and these fucking comments talking about these black thugs, these black women thugs. Like, get that shit out of here. That's this basketball, bro. This is basketball. I don't care if anybody feels like Caitlin Clark is refereed a certain way. I watch her games too. I think she's refereed just fine. She don't get a couple calls, but shit, I get mad watching Luca do that shit. I get mad watching Jokic flop. I get mad watching motherfuckers flop. Caitlin Clark flops all fucking game. I've watched her flop all fucking game. She not guarding bigger players. Like, we need to stop doing that. Like, I hate this whole narrative. Like, oh my God, like we need to do this and we need to do that. Like, look how they're treating her. She's the savior of this league. Angel Reese is popular. Asia Wilson, the best player in the league. Olivia is out there doing the damn thing as a rookie. The Wings doing the damn thing. These are the players that we should be focusing on. Caitlin Clark is not the end all be all, and that is the problem with the WNBA right now. Her games aren't even drawing the most. The fucking Portland team and the Toronto team is getting sellouts, and ain't no Caitlin Clark there. Ain't no Caitlin Clark there. We need to stop coddling her because she is a popular face. The same way, and I wish Kenny was on here because I would say stop coddling that goddamn bald motherfucker in LA, LeBron James. Stop coddling him and being like 24 years in the league. He's still pretty good. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. Shut the fuck up. That's not how this works. That is not how this works. You cannot be this if you are not that. That's the game. That's the game, man. That's the game. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for Caitlin Clark as a player. I do not respect the Indiana Fever. I do not respect the coach. I do not respect the fans. I don't respect any of them. You all are dog shit. I'll go to Indiana and tell you to your fucking face, you're dog shit. And you all a bunch of bitches. Like, on God. Like, every time I see them in the comments, it disgusts me. They're worse than Lakers fans. They're worse because it's like, why are you disrespecting these women? If you care about women's basketball, why are you disrespecting 95% of the other women if you care so much about women's basketball? Caitlin Clark is not the end all be all. Just like LeBron is not the end all be all. I didn't argue with them goofy ass motherfuckers on Twitter too about LeBron, but just because you want to give props to his teammates, it's like, how dare you not respect the King James? Like, get off the man's dick. Get off his dick. Like it's sports, bro. This is sports. Everybody's great in their own way. If you're a superstar, you're great in your own way. Some people are better than others. Caitlin Clark did not have the best season last year. She's not having the best season this year. That does not mean she's still not marketable. She's still whatever. But people saw this white girl come up, and then she became this white face of the WNBA, whereas black people who make up a large amount of the do not look at Caitlin Clark in the same way. They look at Angel Reese. They look at Angel Wilson. That's who they look at for popularity. And that's all I got to say on that. Like, it pisses me off to see racism amplified to defend a player that is known for flopping, that also gets away with a lot of fouls. Like, I get it. she does get called for some bullshit. She does get calls that are missed. I understand that. That's the game, though. Like that's the game. You can look at Steph Curry is a prime example. Steph Curry gets beat the fuck up all the time. LeBron, even at his old ass age, gets beat up because you can't stop him. That's how it is when you're a superstar player. You can't be a superstar player and then act like a loser when you don't get a call your way. Luka, Jokic, San Antonio Spurs in the playoffs when they was flopping around and being dirty and all that shit.
Whole fucking team.
Let's be honest. Like it's basketball. This happens. Sometimes you win them. Sometimes you win some. Sometimes you lose some. Like you're not gonna get every call. Stop whining. Get back on defense. And if you if you want to complain to the rest when the game stops, I fully get it. But when you got your coach like, oh my God, this is they're putting a hit out on Caitlin Clark. They want to get rid of her. Like we're not doing that. Like that is some. Come on, man. Like and you disrespecting black women to uplift her. I don't like that. You can say you think she's the best player or she's your favorite player, but why do you have to disrespect black people and black women to do that? That is my issue. Stop disrespecting stop disrespecting the women that came before her, the women that are currently better than her, just because she looks like you. Just because you found here, oh yeah, she's from Iowa and she's this and she's that. Like that's corny, man. It's corny. And like I said, I could go on and on about this and take it to a different level. We here to talk hoops. We here to talk hoops. And I just wanted to say that. Caitlin Clark's great. Fuck Caitlin Clark fans. Fuck the Indiana Fever. Come see me about it if you got a problem, because I damn sure don't give a fuck. So, like, that's all. That's all I gotta say about that.
If you doubt anything that he's saying, go ahead and look at just look at any of these the big posts about it, the posts that the Indiana Fever make, or the posts about Caitlin Clark. Just look through the comments. That's all you gotta do. Just look through the comments. If you got any doubt about what he's talking about. The refs just fucking suck. I mean, you're right that I'm just saying they suck across the board. So
no, they do. I mean, that's right, every sport.
Like Caitlin Clark gets called for all this ticky tack bullshit, but then she gets jackknife power bombed later on in the foot. Don't get called, but that happens to everybody. But the fact that it happens all the time to everybody just means that there is material that exists to try and make a fucking point out of it. I wish they didn't suck so fucking much.
They do suck. It's just that, like, my thing is, like, the same stuff she's complaining about, she gets away with a lot of that, too. Like, they got video footage of her.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody should.
It's check ball, man. Check the ball. That's hoop. Like, it's just hoops.
They call the most ticky-tack nothing bullshit, but then, somebody will get fucking diamond cut or get RKO'd, and it's just like nothing happened. Even they had the fucking review out and couldn't see the foot in the landing zone and still fucked it up. But they do that all the time. So, like, I just wish it was better in general, man.
Speaking of people, I'll say this about officiating. It kind of goes into what we talked about on.
Tell me about it, huh? Yeah.
Like,
keep them numbers where they need to be at, I guess. I mean, we've had it proven to us before. At least one time.
There's a lot of times where it's like, if I give this person this foul call, you shoot 2 free throws. You had 19 points. A lot of people took your over. Your over was 20. So we're not giving you those free throws. You're not like a team will trap you and foul you while you down such and such. And then they'll pass the ball to somebody else and then they'll foul that person and they'll call it. And I'm like, that's that bullshit. That's that bullshit. Sports is not, like I said, man, it's $1 million business. $1 billion business. And yeah, so when you see Steph not get those calls, when you see Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese or LeBron and anybody not get those calls, there's always more to it, because you can look at a James Harden, you can look at a Luka, they get hella calls. You can look at an SGA, hella calls. You can look at, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can look and see how they structure it. None of these guys are doing anything different than the other guys who get the calls. The people who don't get calls are actually playing more physical sometimes than the guys who do get the calls. So it's a system. The NBA has a system, and they kind of handpick who they want. The league in general, NBA, WNBA, NBA, they got a system. So
yeah, speaking of people who got disrespected, winners and losers here. I'm trying to understand. Well, one, I do understand what one fucking team on one side of one of these was doing, because the Bucks I feel like they got better. They got a little bit of a team now. They're about one or two pieces away, but they got some dudes up there all of a sudden.
They need a
On
damn
the
superstar. That's what they need. They ain't got no star. I mean,
well, I'm gonna
Tyler
get some
Hero,
people on our ass in these comments. I'm just gonna
Tyler
say who we just saw win the NBA championship. I don't know if anybody would call anybody a super duper star of the level of Giannis over there. So yeah, they need a 1A. They need a dude. But once they get one,
Jalen Brunson's a superstar, man.
I
Last
wonder if
3 years. Come
you
on,
know
man.
what? One thing we were about to discuss. I wonder if they got the cap room to get well, they don't got the trade assets. Maybe some of them draft picks. I wonder if they got the cap room to maybe grab up a Jaylen Brown. You add that piece to that roster.
Maybe. I mean, it's like a lateral move though, because salary wise, you got to match $50 million to get Jaylen Brown. So you got to dig deep and look at people who match salary wise, and then you got to look at if the Celtics are going to accept it. I don't think Boston's going to trade Jaylen Brown now. I think they're going to try to work on the relationship. But I feel like even Jaylen Brown would understand. Hey man, we want to trade you for Giannis. If you told me that, I was like, all right, I get it. Shit.
I don't know, man. I feel like I almost God. I hate to say this too. I kind of get it with Jaylen Brown a little bit, just because he's. I understand him maybe feeling like he should be the guy somewhere, and get everything that comes with that.
He was the guy in Boston this year.
Yeah, and he liked it, and he enjoyed it. So that's what I'm saying. Real quick though, hold on. Let me give the details on this. Giannis goes to the Heat and Bobby Portis. Don't forget that. In exchange for Tyler Hero, Jamie Jaquez, Kyle Ware, somebody with a really long, crazy name. 3 first-round picks, including number 13, which they used on a good player, a player that Apollo liked. In exchange for Giannis, now the Heat have to fill 3 roster spots with $18 million. I don't know what the fuck the Heat think that they're doing here.
Wait. I got a question for you, right? Got a question for you. Who were the best bench players on the New York Knicks, the defending champions? We could say they put Mitchell Robinson on the bench for a while. They had Deuce McBride, Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado's probably the most effective guy that they had. But when you look at let's say a Davion Mitchell next to if Norman Powell's probably not going to be there, but you still got Andrew Wiggins, who's still good for 15 points a game most nights. You got Giannis, you got Bam. I don't think the Miami Heat are doing anything. I don't think this trade takes them to the top of the Eastern Conference because they have no shooting.
No, I'm questioning whether they're even making the playoffs. Fuck the Eastern Conference.
They'll make the Eastern Conference is not. The Eastern Conference is at the top, whatever, but they'll make the playoffs. The question is because defensively they're going to be monsters. You got Davion Mitchell, you got Wiggins, you got that. Defensively, you ain't beating that. You're not beating that defensively. The problem is when they call Giannis run and dunk man. Bam got 83 points at one point, the most bullshit 83-point game ever. But he got it. So it's like if Bam gets you 20 and 10 tonight, or in reality more like 17 and 8, and Giannis gets you 25 and 10, Wiggins gets you maybe 12 to 14 tonight if he stays. What you then do is you have enough offense to at least, but you don't have enough spacing. You need a shooter or two. Shooters can be found with a little bit of money. However, Wiggins has a player option. If Wiggins does not opt into the player option, there is a chance you could get him maybe take a little less money, extend for longer. But we don't know if he wants to still be in Miami. He didn't go to Miami. He was traded in the Jimmy Butler trade. So I don't know. I don't think this Giannis thing really moves the needle for Miami, but I will say it sells tickets. And Bam and Tyler Hero, we're not going to sell tickets together. Giannis will sell tickets because Miami Heat, they need a superstar. They had Jimmy Butler as their superstar when he was a superstar. They had LeBron. They had D Wade. This is the Miami Heat way. Every 5 or 6 years, they got a guy come in that kind of takes the reins. And Giannis is now that guy, but it doesn't it doesn't move me because in this league, as evidenced by the other trade, people want shooters, people want spacing, people want things like that. But it's the funny thing is, I think if you would have switched around kind of the Minnesota and Milwaukee in Miami situation, I actually think it'd be funnier because I think what if you get rid of Julius Randle and Nas Reed, I think bringing in a Giannis to be next to a Anthony Edwards would have actually been slightly more effective. But I get why they went the route that they did. But I don't know. I think Miami needs shooting. They didn't have any shooting. Jamie Jacquez was cool. Tyler Hero was cool when he was, you know what I mean? But none of those guys stuck out as much. The Heat culture is what the Heat are living off of. Now Giannis has a co-star with Bam next to him, and they might not be done. They might not be done yet. They might move around. Norman Powell could have a sign and trade thing going on. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. So if Norman Powell does stay, though, I do like that starting five a little bit. Norman Powell can score. He can shoot a little bit. Wiggins is a serviceable 3-point shooter, especially on catch to shoot. He shot almost 40% from three when he was in Golden State. He obviously picked up some improved shooting mechanics there. He's been solid as a shooter, 35 to 38% since. I think he's a decent shooter. He's not the best, and he can also put the ball on the floor and score if he needs to. But yeah, I don't really feel like this is a game changer. It's a franchise changer because now you have a 31-year-old Giannis as your superstar. So you get the last 4 or 5 years of his usefulness before he moves on to become whatever he becomes when he loses some of that athleticism and strength. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe Giannis becomes like LeBron, maybe in some way. Like 10 years from now, he'll still be playing. Greek freak, baby, whatever. I don't know, man.
You brought up a great point. I'm going to start spreading this agenda to be bad faith. I'm like, what do you mean the Heat have no offense? Bam Adebayo scored 83 points, sucker. We got Ken Moore with us, who puts up a lot more points than that on these pods. Great stuff on the draft thing last week. Talk to me. What are your thoughts on this Giannis trade? And also talk to me about the Bucks side of it. They picked your man Nate Ament at 13 to add to this group of players that they got. I think they did really well for themselves. And meanwhile, I don't know what the fuck the Heat are doing. I don't know where. Well, I know what they're doing. I don't know where they're going. Talk to me about this trade.
I don't really. It doesn't really move me too much for the Miami side, other than okay, when it comes to Giannis, what the Heat are hoping they're getting is the Giannis of old. I don't know. Giannis hasn't really done anything like 5 years since he won a championship. That's on the court and off the court. He hasn't really done much. So he has a lot to prove in that regard. He has to prove to the Heat organization that he was worth it because he had two destinations that we knew. It was between the Heat and the Celtics. So for his career, he probably would have been better off going to the Celtics. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, either way, he's a franchise guy. He's a needle mover in himself, but you need a team around you. So Bam Adebayo, I mean, they'll be formidable. It's a solid starting five if Norman Powell stays or if they keep Wiggins, but man, it's really not moving the needle. Bobby Portis is good though. I mean, it's good depth. But I mean, nah. I mean, I really don't see these guys really making much noise, at least in year one. Now maybe year two, and Giannis being in Miami, maybe they can attract somebody depending on how they play or the success that they have. Now for Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee not just the draft, but the moves that they made. When they sent Giannis to Miami, what they did was they gave their team flexibility. They got a new coach. You want to give him that option, like you want to give him several different options, and you want to start that young core. start a new timeline. And boy, did they. So they got Braden Berries with the number 10 pick. And then they got Nate Ament, who Eric, like you said, was one of my favorites, if not the favorite in this draft. I think with that young nucleus that they got, now, they might trade Tyler Hero. I heard that might be an option. I don't know. It's rumblings going on around it. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We'll see. But I think he's from around that area or something like that. Like maybe not too far from it. So I mean he'll probably stay. But to have him, Ryan Rollins, Miles Turner, now Kyle Kuzma is still on the team. But I think Nate is going to start over Kyle Kuzma. They'll send him back to the bench. Braden Berries, I don't know if he'll start, at least not yet. But we'll see. We'll see how Jaime Jaquez does in the scheme. But we could have two starters. I mean, they both lottery picks, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised eventually if they both are starting. I mean, if you want to start that new timeline, you gotta let them go do what they do. I like Casper's that was in Illinois a couple years ago. He was the 20th pick last year, so that's good point guard depth that they got. Kel'el Ware, he was my favorite big man in that same draft with what was it, Alex Sarr and the Resache draft. Or was it the year before? No, matter of fact, no, it was the Stephon Castle draft. Yeah, when he came out, he was my favorite big in there. Everybody was talking about Zach Edey. I'll get more on him later, but I'm not a fan of his. So Kel'el Ware had the skill set to space the floor. He could run, he could jump. He's a rim runner, rim protector. I mean, he can do it all. He just, it's just a matter of him keeping that consistency offensively. But I mean, hey, if you're giving him more room to grow, and looks like Milwaukee will have that would afford them that time, that should be pretty good and exciting to watch. I would say. I'm just glad that Giannis, like that Giannis era, I'm just glad that it's over. So it's not, messing up Nate or Braden Berries, And I'm glad Doc is gone. Like all that stuff from the last era, man. Like get it out, clean house. And sky should be the limit for that team.
I think so. I like it. I like it. The
In
other
2
side.
years, I think in 2 years, once those guys got a chance to fully develop, and they could be like a Spurs. They don't have a Wemby, but they could be, the Spurs of the East in the sense that you said Berries and Nate, and I don't think they're keeping half of those guys that they got from Miami though. I don't think they're keeping half of those guys. And Kyle Kuzma and Miles Turner probably on the way out too. Miles Turner was pretty ass to me last season. I know a lot of people were trying to shoot him bail, and he was not good. So I think the future is bright. They got some great pieces for the future. Just don't believe in any of those players that they acquired and have on the roster, the veteran players. Tyler Hero, I've never believed in Tyler Hero. We'll see if he sticks with him. He probably won't. I don't think he will because Detroit has a lot of interest in him, but they did just trade away Isaiah Stewart, so we'll see how that goes. But hey man, like I said, this is what the NBA is about. This is what it's about, man. These trades and new beginnings and new starts. Unless you're the Golden State Warriors and you sign Al Horford for like $7 million a year, but hey, it's all good.
The other big trade that went down, and another one, there got to be more to this story because you got the Charlotte Hornets basically stepping up and just giving away their best player.
Is he the best player though?
Well, that's part of what I'm about to ask both of you to please inform me, because I was very reliably thinking that he was by quite a wide margin there. But Con Canupa, we know he could stroke it. But
No.
they give him away for a solid rotational player and some draft picks. LaMelo Ball heading over to the Minnesota Timberwolves to play. I mean, that's going to be the ultimate. What'd you say about? Yeah, they're going to be like the Rockets when it comes to playoff time. When it comes to crunch time, and some shit starts going wrong for them. I don't know how that's going to go. All them things that you said about the Rockets, why they wasn't nothing to worry about in the playoffs, true. I got a feeling that Ant Edwards' ball situation is going to go just that way. But that doesn't change the fact. I saw people on ESPN talking about the Timberwolves GM. He's a riverboat gambler. He's a gunslinger. He's a blah blah blah. What the fuck are you talking about? You got the other team's best fucking player in exchange for a rotational guy and some draft picks, and you're a gunslinger? Get the fuck out of here.
Naz Reid is a very good player. I just want to point
he is a very good player, but he ain't. Come on now. Be the only other player involved. They're talking about an unprotected pick. What fucking pick do you think it's going to be? Fucking 30? 28?
Naz Reid can play defense. That is something LaMelo Ball has been allergic to his entire career. But I will say this: LaMelo on offense is the most gifted player on the Charlotte Hornets. But there were several games throughout these last couple of seasons where LaMelo was not closing. You remember this whole thing about him not playing in the fourth quarter like that? This was a thing like during this season. And the Charlotte Hornets still was going on a run with him not even being. And then they started giving him more minutes, and he stepped up. But LaMelo is extremely immature in that way. LaMelo is extremely he's still growing. You know, him being the best, brother in the BBB family has always been hilarious to me. Even though, like people said, it was expected for a lot of people, but for me, it was just hilarious because I remember him being on WWE with LeVar Ball and talking about beat that nigga ass when they had the Miz out there. So I just thought it was a funny. It's just a funny trajectory to see him, go to Charlotte where there's no expectation for you to do anything in Charlotte. You're not expected to win in Charlotte. There's never been a time where you're expected to win. So I feel like having these expectations and playing against somebody like Ant, with somebody like Ant wants to win. Ant wants to win. That's why I don't really understand this move from Minnesota because I don't think this brings you closer to winning. This allows Anthony Edwards more freedom to move and not always be double teamed. But if you're a superstar, you're going to get double teamed regardless. It doesn't matter if you even have a second option. We've seen this happen to where like even people with very good second options still get double teamed. Like this is just how it goes. So I feel like offensively this will be box office to watch, but it could also be a nightmare. And they still need to put somebody at the four. I don't care what anybody says. Jaden McDaniels.
I think it's going to be both. It's going to be box office and a nightmare. Horror movies do good at the box office too.
But I'll just say, I said this to somebody too. Putting Jaden McDaniels at the four next to Rudy Gobert, and like that's it. I don't think that's a smart idea. I think Jaden McDaniels works better as a three. We've seen this. If they can find somebody who's a little bit less of a ball hog than Julius Randle can be at times, I think that works. That's why I felt like Naz Reid getting the start at the four was great. That has been a great, I think, we don't know what his motor's like completely as a starter, but we've seen him start and he's been very serviceable as a starter. So I feel like this is not a complete lateral to move because it does make them like marginally better in a way, but also makes them worse on defense because Anthony Edwards is going to have to work overtime on defense. LaMelo might lock in, but once again, this is not him going to the Timberwolves as a free agent because he had meetings and had locked in with these guys. This is a trade happening. Charlotte was trying to get rid of him for a while anyway. So I don't know, man. Like I said, I think for the Hornets, they chose Kobe White over LaMelo, basically. And also they got Naz Reid. They still got Brandon Miller. They still have Khan. They still we'll see about Miles Bridges, but they still have some pieces there. So I think that's their thought process. And Kobe White was playing pretty good with them, even when Melo was out for certain games. So there is a chance that this is still a seamless move for them, and they do improve with uh, kind of getting a big man that can score and that can shoot and can also help on defense a little bit. So, but I think they're giving the keys to Khan and Brandon. They, B Miller and Khan, it seem like who the franchise wants to kind of build around and believe in. And whether or not that proves to be the greatest idea, we have to wait and see. But Charlotte has not been good for anything these last few years. They had that run they went on, late in the season this year. But other than that, we don't know them for much outside of that. So we'll see.
Talk to me about it, Apollo. I'm having a real hard time on this on the Hornets side. There got to be more to it. There has to be more to it. They must have been sick to fucking death of this guy behind the scenes. Was he their best player? Who would you say that did they trade their best player for?
I think both teams have gotten a little better in their own way. From the Charlotte standpoint, he was on the block for a minute. I've been saying this for a year, maybe plus. Ja Morant, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball, the NBA don't want those guys no more. Like, they're not winners. I don't care how fans feel about them being flashy, good scorers. That's cool and all. I get the entertainment part, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding. So with LaMelo Ball, as far as him being the best player on the team, he was the best player on the team until last year. And with that, even with him being the best offensive player, his flaws, his flaws were pretty bad, pretty glaring. It's like he's one of those players that he can keep the other team in games too. Players like Russell Westbrook, he's a prime example of that. Like he'll turn the ball over, or like he'll make a great play, then he'll make a bonehead play right after that, leave you scratching your head. Like that's basically LaMelo Ball. With that being said, the fluidity that this kid plays with offensively is alone an upgrade at point guard for Minnesota. What they're telling you is they're changing their philosophy. So we've had the Julius Randle era, and all that. Like, it's come and gone. They've had their success with that. They've gone as far as they can go. As good as he is, he's a ball stopper, and he's temperamental. I mean, you're talking about sometimes melting down at the end of the games. Julius Randle is one of those guys too. He had some pretty good games in the first round of the playoffs, but at the same time, that second round, he wasn't that good. He didn't play that well, and so with that, you're freeing up, and you're playing faster. You're showcasing your athletes. And man is going to get freed up. He's not going to all right, you can try to double team him still, but Melo's going to make you pay. Michael Conley couldn't make you pay. Dante DiVincenzo, I mean, if he ain't running off a screen or action, he ain't really making you pay. So that's an upgrade right there. Now, I don't know. They might fool around and start Io. All right. I mean, defensively, they'll still be solid. I mean, Gobert. I put like this: Gobert's there. I mean, he's still going to do his 20 and 10 stuff, but you got that young cat Berenger, who he's going to get some more burn this year because he can keep up with that run and gun, that rim runner rotation whenever Minnesota puts down the floor. But he's got one shot only. because if he don't look good, then he won't get no burn. To get, I mean, I don't know, for Charlotte, I think for them it frees them up because now, okay, this is Con and B Miller's team. Kobe White, he was pretty good for him last year, like you said. But that kid that they got, these two kids that they got this year in the draft, and Eric, you remember Hans Steinbach? He was my favorite big double guy, pick and pop guy, a Vucevic in his prime type of guy, Sabonis before all the injuries in his prime type of guy.
Wait, which Sabonis? Big Sabonis or little Sabonis?
Little Sabonis, the son.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Pre
very good.
And the point guard they got, Christian Anderson, from Texas Tech. There was a reason why he was one of the earlier prospects called for the green room, because he's actually a wizard when it comes to passing the ball. Like some of the stuff that he was doing last year, I was like, wow. He's small, but I mean, he plays smart. He's a smart player. So there's not going to be any drop off when Kobe White sits down. You know what I mean? Or when Trey Mann, gets minutes and stuff like that. So I like that. We got to see if Liam McNeely is going to take a step forward. Getting Naz Reid. I mean, to me, that is the biggest negative mark against Minnesota for this trade, because losing him, they might pay for that because of what he's able to do. He can spread the floor. He's a great shooter, and he's good on defense, and he can play inside too. So he's a hell of a player, and that's doing wonders, and that adds another wrinkle to Charlotte's repertoire. And it gives them a little more depth. And one of the things that they desperately need is rebounds. So, having Steinbach, Kalkbrenner, these are guys with size, Diabate. I mean, he was a hell of a rebounder, as we've seen for this past year. So, Miles Bridges, depends on what they do with him. But if he's gone, Nas can start. And we're talking about a real solid team now.
So moving on to the event that happened earlier this week, your main thing, the draft. Let's talk about who you liked, what they accomplished. Two things I do. So I'm going to give mine. I loved what the Thunder did, getting a guy who can shoot the lights out to add to the group, and then also getting a guy 7'3" who you said could be a defensive anchor for a team right now, start coming out of the draft, adding him to be alongside Chet, who we saw is able to be exposed in certain situations. Adding a guy who can make an impact like that on defense right off the bat, plus a guy who could be, a drink stirrer, an instant offense guy, could shoot the lights out for your second unit when some of the starters come off. This team just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. I love what the Thunder did. I also wanted to ask you, AJ DeBansa, you add him to Trae Young, Anthony Davis. Are the Wizards kind of interesting? Are the Wizards a little bit interesting for the first time in fucking 15 years? Little bit interesting. And then after you give me that answer, Ken, give me who you liked, what they did in the draft, and then True, you do the same. Go ahead.
Yeah. It depends on what it depends on what Anthony Davis does. Whether Trae Young can convince him to want to stay or not. But I think he might want to, because I mean he's probably feeling the AJ hype and everything. So we'll see. If you look at the potential starting lineup, you got Trae Young, Kason George, AJ DeBansa, Anthony Davis, and Alex R. That's a lot of size. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good starting lineup. But then you got depth. Bub Carrington is a hell of a player. Trey Johnson, Eric, he was one of my guys
Yeah.
The last draft. Koulibaly, he came out the same year as Wembanyama. That was his teammate back in France. I love Koulibaly. Um, Justin Champagne, the twin brother of the Spurs, Julian Champagne. He's solid. I mean, he ain't his brother, but he ain't that far. They're twins. And my man Will Raleigh. Will Raleigh, they got drafted from Illinois last year. Love that kid. He made strides last year, and they still got Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore is ultra athletic. Felix Ox Power, they got him in the second round. He is a grown man. He's not nothing offensively, but defensively, I mean that's athleticism, that's rim protection. Like they can do some things, but I don't know if they're finished making moves yet. They're probably going to tweak some more things, but you know, as it stands right now, I do like the squad. I'm not going to hold you. I do like the squad. But making the playoffs, we'll see. We'll see. Now, as far as everybody else, I'll say in general, the lottery. I liked the lottery, with the exception of maybe one thing. Morez Johnson Jr. being picked ninth by the Dallas Mavericks. That was too high. I love me some Morez Johnson, but that was too high. I had him like I think 19th for 20th on my board, and me and a lot of people had him pegged going to the Spurs. But I mean, but his coach, his college coach, Dusty May, went to Dallas, and he decided, hey, let me get my guy, and make him my first pick as an NBA coach. I'm like, all right, we'll see. I hope Dusty doesn't think that this is college. It's a whole different game now, brother. So I mean, I hope you ain't just doing it, because you're thinking it's going to be sweet. Like as good as that boy is, he got a lot to learn offensively. You know what I mean? So we'll see about that. But other than that, I mean, the top four went exactly how everybody thought it would. Now I will say this: there's a cuff
Hey
getting
man, you
drafted.
aren't lying. People were. The media loves that fucking guy. Every fucking body was like, "Oh, the Kings, they did so amazing." Oh. I'm like, "Oh no, the Kings. That was a Kings fucking pick. That was 100% a Kings fucking pick." You can elaborate better than me, but you're gonna half baked,
100%.
half thought. But damn, you were not fucking lying because the media was going crazy, doing tricks on it, backflips on it, talking about them picking A Cup. They love that fucking dude.
Look, and just to solidify your point, it's 100% a Kings move because the general manager Scott Perry used to coach A Cup's dad, so he was already baked in to be going there. So I mean, it is what it is. Looking at the potential starting lineup, I mean, you talking about not really moving the needle like that. That boy gonna get eaten alive out there on the floor. Like him, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan. I mean, Sabonis, if he can remain healthy. Keegan Murray, I mean, I don't know. That boy gonna be eaten alive. But we'll see. I mean, it should be exciting for Sacramento. They need tickets. Tickets being sold, and they need butts in the seats. So, hey, I mean, like I said, there's no disrespect to the kid. The kid is amazing, but we'll see what he'll do on an NFL court. We'll see. Um, the Memphis Grizzlies. I just want to touch on them real quick before I make my last point. The Memphis Grizzlies. All this talk about Cameron Boozer. Eric, I told you. True, I told you. I love Cameron Boozer. The boy has on-court gravity. You can't take your eyes off him. Like when he's like he does things so well. It's like, damn, this boy is great. But then you got to really look at what he's doing. He's a bully. When people say he's not athletic, we're not saying that he's a damn stiff. What we're saying is compared to where he should be, and other athletic bigs, he ain't that. So if you pair him with Zach Edey, who has cement shoes, stiff as can be, barely on the court. You got he can't close out on and do no help defense. So you got him, Boozer. Like I told you, Eric, one of his problems is defensively, he takes lapses. He got exposed when you put him in ball screens. What you think he will get put in the NBA a lot? Ball screens. I don't see, and he doesn't have the athleticism to recover as quickly as you will want, especially when you got a slow center like that. John Morant. So for the Timberwolves, it was either going to be John Morant or LaMelo Ball. I don't know.
Yeah, are you hearing this rumor that the Grizzlies are ready to move on? I think pretty much everyone is ready to move on, and it sounds like they can't find anybody who wants John Morant in their building.
It was going to be Minnesota, but I guess something fell through with them. And they got Melo. Maybe it was either one of them two. But yeah, that's another thing. He's been on the trading block for a while. So I mean, I don't know who's going to take him, but I'm pretty sure right now he don't like the look of this team. Cedric Coward is good. I liked him. He showed some flashes. Jalen Wells, he looks good, but he wasn't as healthy as he could be, and he was pretty inconsistent. So it's like, all right, man, they gotta make some more moves. We'll see. But I just don't understand that per se. And one more thing, I know True is gonna talk about this too, but as far as the Warriors and what they did,
Respect.
they wanted Braden Berries, like I had said months ago, but everybody was expecting the Hawks to take Ade Mara, the big kid from Michigan. When I think it was like 8, they picked 8. They was expecting them to get him, which would in turn, and I think the Mavericks wanted to get Flemings, but the Hawks wound up getting them. So that kind of threw a wrench in things. And this was before Dusty May went to the Mavericks. So he come throwing a wrench in everything. He getting Morez Johnson Jr. way higher than he should have. So Milwaukee was like, well, damn, we want both Berries and Nate, because I believe they told Nate, hey, we're going to pick you with 10. But once all that happened, and by that time, like the Warriors knew that, so it was like, shit, we want Yaxel, because just in case Brady ain't gonna be available, we want Yaxel, and they was on Yaxel for a minute, and I already knew he was going to be available for them to get, but it was a matter of they also wanted Mara, as Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy was arguing in the daggone war room. So it's like it's just crazy how these things happen, and it's like a domino effect. Things like that. But I will say this. I love Yaxel Lindenberg. It's just that I don't know if he's going to be behind the development curve by a large margin or by a smaller margin enough for the Warriors on this timeline. I don't know that. Now, does he have the talent? Oh, hell yeah. He better start over our me and True's guy, Guy Santos. But I mean, he might not. I mean, we don't know. We'll see during the summer league or training camp. But that other kid that they got in the second round was Jay Jones. I actually liked him in Portsmouth, because when I went to the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament, I liked him. He's from Florida State, but I mean, he might go overseas. Like, he's a damn G League kid, so developmental guy. But other than that, they got a guy that can play defense. I'll say this. He was probably the best defender in this draft as far as being able to switch and to guard 2 through 5, like multiple positions. So that's also a plus. And, you get more size. So, that's a good thing. for the Warriors. So I mean, all in all, like I said, man, it was what I expected, but you had a few things I didn't understand, especially towards the end of the first round. I didn't understand that at all. It was a lot of reaches, a lot of foreign guys that did not belong to be drafted, getting drafted, a lot of second round guys getting drafted. Like, what is going on here? There's a lot of overreactions and over evaluations, but hey, it's typical in sports.
Drew, who'd you like? What they did in the draft? I think we know who you're going to talk about.
Well, before I get to Axel, because everybody knows,
because it's over for you hoes.
It is probably more so over for the Warriors, but no, I've been saying for months, and like Kenny can attest to this. Me and him been talking about that for months. I was like, man, they had their eyes on Yaxel from. I knew that talking to people in the Warrior circle, like they had their eyes on Yaxel for a very, very long time. But Caleb Wilson obviously, going forth. That's cool. Going to the Bulls, I like seeing that. Darius going to the Kings, like it's been said, like everybody said, Darius is he's gonna sell tickets, which the Kings sorely need. Nobody was checking for them. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, was it Keegan Murray, whoever else they got on the roster at this point. Nobody's really checking for that, but I think the Darius move it serves a purpose. It serves a need. I like Mar going to OKC. I think that's a hilarious pick. I think that's quite funny. And OKC got two guys that I thought was pretty interesting. They got my guy Bennett, who the Warriors were also looking at, but they decided I think just Yaxel fit their timeline. As far as Yaxel, this is the last thing I'll say on that. Yaxel to me, and Kenny kind of hit it on the nail. He kind of nailed on the head when he said, what he can do with his defensive capabilities. I think as an offensive player, size is everything, right? Size is everything. So his lateral movement, I am a big fan of how his lateral movement is, especially when you're talking about defense. But he might not be the fastest player out there, but the Warriors don't have a lot of athleticism on that team, and he provides that. He could be they need a lob threat because they lost that with Kuminga. They need somebody who can guard. They need somebody and he's a pretty decent passer as well. He can rebound the ball pretty well. I think on the Warriors he'll probably do good at rebounding because they don't really have that many rebounders. I know. So Yaxel also a pretty good shooter. So I think they got what they needed in the draft. But Yaxel should start. I agree. Yaxel should start or at least be the sixth man because he's good enough to do that on this team. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, the draft looks like a success. We hitting the free agency, and yeah, man. I mean, I think everything went as it was supposed to go, and the only thing that I would say is the one team I think that won the draft out of everybody. The two teams, I'd say OKC kind of won, and I'd say Milwaukee won. Anytime you can walk out in the first round getting two solid players, you have nothing to be ashamed about. Especially if you're a team that was one win away from the NBA Finals going back to back. Then you added two players that can contribute. I don't know, man. Like I am OKC they're gonna be out for revenge this coming season. You can see it.
They're suited up with Mara, with Chet, with Hardenstein, and then the Spurs still got Wemby. But the Spurs also did a hell of a job in the draft. They added nothing but defensive bruisers. Terrence Reed, who I seen up close and personal, who wore down Cameron Boozer in the Elite Eight in the Final Four. So, and then you got Malik Brown, who came from Duke. He's a 6'8" guy, but he's a hell of a defender. So you got guys that are going to still provide that toughness when Wemby is taking his rest on the bench, or Or let's say you get some rotations where Terrence Reed is I guess starting with Wemby, not necessarily starting, but on the floor with Wemby, and Wemby can feel a little more comfortable rolling around on the damn perimeter like he loves to do, while Terrence Reed, man, like grinding down in the paint. You know what I'm saying? He's younger than Luka Cornett. You know what I mean? Like, so you got to look at that. You know, that's going to be a fascinating thing. That's going to be a fascinating thing. And real quick, I know we about to wrap it up, but Utah, Darren Peterson, Ace Bailey on the same team. You talking about heaven for somebody like me. I can't wait to watch these brothers this year. Can't wait.
Add to the League Pass subscription. I love it. Speaking of subscriptions, we hope that you like and subscribe to us. Get these follows up. We appreciate all the listenership, but we could definitely use more and more subs all the time. Appreciate all the support. This is DAR Sports Media. The media part will be back next week. We did back-to-back NBA eps because things were rolling so much in the NBA, but we'll be back with a movie pod next week. All the stuff that's happened in June. Me and Drew pretty much seen everything, and a little guide for what's coming up in July. That will be next week right here on DAR Sports Media, because the world of DAR never stops.